There is no adversary more relentless than weakness. It does not rush you on the battlefield, nor does it strike in the clash of steel. It waits patiently in the pause, the fraction of a second between intention and movement, the quiet flicker of doubt before the blade leaves its sheath. That is where warriors fall. To follow the way of Bushido is not to chase serenity. It is to pursue refinement through pressure. Fire does not cleanse what it never touches, and an undisciplined spirit will collapse beneath its own turbulence. Miyamoto Musashi understood this truth. Born in 1584, in an era where Japan bled without pause, he did not wait for strength to arrive. He forged it alone, unseen, unheard, through repetition and resolve. Sword in one hand, brush in the other, he shaped himself day after day until steel and soul were indistinguishable. In his final days, weeks before his death in 1645, Musashi wrote words that would outlive him. Think lightly of yourself and deeply of the world. Because the self is static. It demands comfort, recognition, escape. The world offers none of these. Rivers do not slow for excuses. Mountains do not soften for fear. You rise to meet reality or you are crushed beneath it. This is not a legend of triumph. It is an accounting. It is the story of a gifted samurai whose foundation crumbled when it mattered most, and the wandering master who revealed the disciplines that divide performers from warriors. 10 principles not imagined in theory, but hammered into form through hardship. These are not routines. They're instruments of survival. They strip away weakness. They burn illusion. They leave only what endures. In the spring of 1612, in Osaka, Province Teshi of the Hayashi clan entered the dueling circle before hundreds of witnesses. 22 summers old, born into honor, trained since childhood, 15 years of relentless practice, a master of multiple schools. Every movement, precise. Every stance immaculate. His teacher's finest student. His opponent was a nameless ronin. No lineage, no banner, no reputation. A stained robe, scarred wooden sword. It's nothing remarkable. The duel should have ended instantly. Instead, it ended in 3 breaths. The signal sounded. Teshi lifted his blade, posture flawless. The ronin remained motionless, eyes heavy, weapon lowered. Teshi waited. No strike came. He hesitated, searching for certainty, for instruction, for permission, and in that instant, the match was over. His sword was gone before his mind could follow the motion. Silence spread through the crowd. Then murmurs. The air of Hayashi undone by a man without a name. Teshi stood unmoving, not stunned by loss, but by revelation. In the one moment that mattered, his years of training evaporated. His thoughts froze him, his perfection betrayed. Him hesitation had killed him. That night he fled Osaka. No destination. Only distance from the whispers, from disgrace. From the man he believed himself to be. Days later, deep within the mountains, he reached a weathered shrine. And there, seated as if expected, was the ronin who had defeated him. Anger rose. Hand drifted toward his sword. Sit, the ronin said calmly. If you still believe violence is the answer, then nothing was learned. You dishonored me. No, the ronin replied. You exposed yourself. I only removed the illusion. Teshi's fury softened into something unfamiliar, curiosity. You trained perfectly, the ronin continued, yet you failed instantly. Not because I was stronger, because you paused. Your training was theater beautiful, fragile, useless under pressure. The truth cut cleanly. I am Kensei, the ronin said. I once walked beside Musashi. If you are willing to dismantle what you think you know, I will show you what truly remains. Teshi knelt. I am ready. And so the forging began. Before dawn, Kensei's voice shattered the darkness. Stand. Exhaustion weighed on Teshi. Pain pulled at every muscle. Yet the command allowed no debate. He rose. A warrior does not negotiate with the moment, Kensei said. The sun rises. Steel cuts, you act. Morning after morning, Teshi learned to move before thought could interfere. Discipline ceased to be intentionate, became instinct. Kensei tested him with insult, with provocation, with silence.
At.
Rage surfaced, but Teshi learned not to obey it. Emotion became background noise, not command. Storms came, cold, rain, fatigue. Teshi trained when comfort vanished. He learned that discipline practiced only in ease is merely habit. Time stripped him bare. Possessions were removed. Pain was endured without escape. Focus was sharpened. Approval lost its grip. Death was acknowledged, not as dread, but as certainty. Then came the test. Bandits descended upon the shrine. 7 men against 2 hold, Kensei said. Teshi did. Fear appeared, but it did not rule him. Pain came, but it did not slow him. Thought vanished. Training moved through him. He neither advanced recklessly nor retreated once. When silence returned, the line remained unbroken. A year later, Teshi stood where he once collapsed. Another young samurai arrived, defeated, ashamed, searching. Teach me, the boy said. We begin before dawn, Teshi replied, and we begin by rising without negotiation. Years passed. Teshi became known not for words, not for legend, but for permanence. 17 duels. 17 victories. Not through brilliance, through resolve, and in reflection, he understood the truth. The difference was never talent, never bravery, never fate. It was discipline daily, unwelcome, relentless. Not perfection, not victory remaining, standing when quitting was easier, moving when fear demanded stillness. Choosing the blade when comfort called. That is the mark of the warrior, not the weapon, not the record. But this he remained, and so can you, if you choose the path and walk it without pause.